Hello, welcome to today's Esoteric Collective reading. Hope you all are having an absolutely wonderful day today. We're going to go ahead and do something a little bit different. Usually I try to use at least like 2 decks, but today we're just going to go straight tarot with the Moon and Stars tarot deck. I was going to say a disclaimer. I will still because I paused, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. Normally at these readings I'll mention that I have a cat in case he decides to come on screen, but he is chilling right now, taking a cat nap, so I don't think that'll be an issue. But cats could be significant. A cat nap could be significant. That idea that you need to rest. You could have been resting a lot recently, or you need to rest, and this is me reminding you, you need to rest. Let's see what the collective needs to hear today for this Sunday. Alright. First card, and we have the Chariot. Very, very fun. I will admit, kind of my favorite card. I think overall my favorite card in the tarot is probably the Star because of the meaning of it, but the Chariot, being a Cancer sign, quite a fan of it. So, this idea that you're making progress in general in life, we're going to find out progress on what. But the Chariot being the first card, definitely a fast-paced point in your life right now. A lot could be going on. This could be a sign to get your car checked out. Don't take that as like a say, like you're fine, you're okay. But if you've been considering getting your car checked out, this is confirmation that you should do that. What is approaching this collective with this Chariot energy? Interesting. 7 of Pentacles. Let's see if it's upright or reversed. Upright. Oh. I'm going to go ahead and keep pulling tarot on this. For that idea though, that with the 7 of Pentacles, you could have been working hard on an activity, particularly in the physical. This could be career related as well, so maybe even like really working hard at work, trying to go for that promotion. The idea of being elevated at work seems to be relevant here. But this issue, okay, interesting. I was not going to say issue. There seems to be an issue with, what was the issue? Let's find out. Because so far we've only pulled 2 cards. But now I'm interested in what the issue is. Because I did not mean to say that word. So, collective, what's the issue? If you're making progress, what's the issue? Ah, that's the issue. 8 of Swords. So, somebody's been having a little bit of imposter syndrome, huh? And I bet there's probably a reading in my Esoteric Collective Readings playlist titled Imposter Syndrome or something like that. If so, feel free to watch that one too, because I bet I probably talk about this one a lot. If you can't tell from my tone, this is a subject I am very passionate about. And also, I'm still learning myself too, so I'm with you there. I think it's important to know that, especially with imposter syndrome, it can be incredibly isolating, despite the fact that a lot of people have it, frankly. Yeah, it could have been that there's been some nasty things in your past that were said about you that's causing some anxiety about the progress you're currently making. This anxiety is caused by non-accurate information though. This is not like words of people who actually know who you are and the progress you've made. This is words of people who wanted to cause drama, wanted to cause chaos. That was the aim, and so they tried to do that. As I say that, they wanted to cause fear. Now, maybe they have. Maybe that those words of the past have gotten to you and created some anxiety. But I do think it's important to note that that did not come up until I asked about it. This idea though that, one, when you're treating anxiety, you have to actively address it and address why you're anxious. Because sometimes you'll ask yourself, why are you anxious? And the answer is nothing. In that case, that could be an anxiety disorder. As somebody who has that, that sounds familiar to me. So while I am not here to diagnose you, I am saying though that if you experience anxiety attacks on a regular basis without actively having a reasoning for the panic, maybe look into that. However, If you find that you're anxious and the thing that is causing the anxiety, those thoughts that are scaring you, are actually the thoughts of maybe a parent of the past, thoughts of a childhood bully, any of those hateful words that may have lingered in the back of your mind. They may be blocking you being able to see your own physical progress when it comes to this work-related or physical activity you are pursuing. Especially since we have the Hierophant here. This idea that, I should also note, we have Two of Cups as well. My suggestion to you would be to make sure that you are confiding in close friends / family / frankly loved ones that you can trust. This idea that with this Two of Cups and the Hierophant, therapy could be significant if you're interested in that. But even if you're not able to do that, or for whatever reason, frankly, we live in a world that it makes that expensive, so literally whatever reason, even being able to talk to a fellow friend about these intrusive thoughts that may be occurring, or if you don't identify with intrusive thoughts, the idea of like imposter syndrome, of like not feeling like you are worthy enough despite physical evidence to state otherwise, right? Talking to a friend who is exposed to all of that physical evidence, this Seven of Pentacles energy that you've been doing, can help a lot to reestablish yourself and your worldview as the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, I want to note real quick, in this card is literally standing on the world with like their hands like crossed, like all like strong and confident stance, like they're sure of themselves. And I think that that is a mindset that you could get to because you have the physical evidence backing it up, but there seems to be some anxiety that's lingering in the back of your head, possibly coming to the forefront, especially with this Chariot energy. It's like the idea of like being exposed to the Seven of Pentacles and working, trying to make something happen, and then the lingering fear creeps in of like, what is this for naught? Right? And part of this can be healed by discussing that what this is for not, frankly, bullshit, with a friend who can tell you that that's bullshit. This idea that we need people to... The idea of if you are extraordinary as an individual, you may not know that because you are so used to you being extraordinary that it seems ordinary. But when others experience your extraordinariness, it is not ordinary to them. To them, they see the extraordinary because they're not used to it, because they're not you. And that's not to say that this person isn't also extraordinary. Not my point at all. However, my point is that sometimes we can't see our own shine because we're a little bit too in the neck of it, in the deep of it, if you will, you know? And we need somebody who is new to us, or at least just not us, to kind of remind us of all the hard work we've put into this, whatever this is for you. It does seem like something to do with work, particularly because that second card was Seven of Pentacles. Maybe we'll pull one more card, just cause. But I do think talking to a friend, or possibly even a licensed professional therapist or psychiatrist, depending on how severe and what you are able to physically achieve and do, but even just talking to a friend about this could help a lot to reestablish your confidence in your abilities and your self-worth, especially. Because that's what anxiety is, right? It's us doubting our self-worth, but oftentimes it's not valid. Oftentimes people who doubt their self-worth are actually quite worthy. So, it's one of those things where people who... The next thing I'm going to say is not an end-all be-all sentence. I'm making that disclaimer now because obviously there are nuances to life. However, I would say like a majority of people who do not question their worthiness of things do not care to question their worthiness of things. And there's a reason why. However, people who do question it, while it's sad that they do because they shouldn't, they're questioning it because they want to make sure that they're achieving this pedestal of worthiness. And that's where that wound is, right? It's this want to make something happen, and that happening is like the worthiness, like pedestal milestone could be significant, and like constantly pedaling towards it, but not feeling like enough. Interesting. But as I say that, the Nine of Cups comes out. Now, if this Nine of Cups energy seems significant to you, I'd recommend checking out the reading that was posted right before this, which is the Saturday reading. I tend to post my esoteric collective readings on the weekends if you're new here. And I'll pull one more card because it fell out, and it's Queen of Cups. So this idea, though, that once you can reestablish this energy that you are worthy of the things that you want in this life, especially because of the hard work that you've done, and it seems like you've been doing a lot of it with that Chariot energy, like very fast pace, like go, 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 let's get this done, and as best as possible with that Seven of Pentacles, like putting genuine work and effort and like dedication into making sure that it's good, right? You can reestablish a sense of confidence within yourself by seeking out emotional comfort from friends. When I think of the Queen of Cups, while she is often attributed to being a very psychic, intuitive individual, this idea that it's also a very nurturing, emotional individual. So if you have a friend who's a water sign, that could be a fun person to talk to, or in general, if you're not into astrology, just a person that you know is good with emotions. A person that you could get a hug from if you're interested in that, right? A person who you know would listen to you talk about the issues that are going on in your brain right now. Finding someone in your life who can help nurture your conversation with yourself about this topic, I think would be very grounding for you to be able to reestablish your sense of confidence in your ability to achieve that wish fulfillment feeling, that Nine of Cups. And that's all for today's reading. I hope you enjoyed. If you're still here, feel free to check out my linktree in my YouTube description and YouTube bio to help donate money to Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Yemen, and Haiti, as well as many, many more. Also, if you're an immigrant, particularly in the USA, I hope you have an absolutely amazing day today. I hope you get the chance to have a really nice talk with a friend, maybe cry a little bit, because frankly, it's good for the soul, the body, and the mind, so you might as well if you can. But regardless of your immigration status, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic, safe, emphasis on safe day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!